Understand? You included.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. And welcome. Patty, how come you're not in here? Tapani, good to see you. Snorty, good to see you. All right. I was considering myself to be very fortunate because I managed to get through all of the winter months and not come down with a cold or an upper respiratory infection or bronchitis or anything, which... I usually get at least once or twice a year. And then when spring hit and all the allergies started going around, everybody around me started sneezing and coughing and wiping their snotty noses all over their sleeves and everything else they could find and touching door handles. So, of course, I got sick. Yay. Started off with a nice sore throat a couple days ago, and now we're getting to the congesting part with the phlegm and all the fun stuff. As you can hear, my voice sounds kind of strained. It's kind of cool because, when you first get this, my voice gets really kind of dark and deep, and it's just kind of like, man, I need to start talking to the chicks because you know how much they like that. The deep voice guys, the deep growly voice guys. Unfortunately, that doesn't last very long, and then, I start sounding like this, and pretty soon I'll just, be hoarse, and that'll be fun. Tuesday will be really interesting to see, or to hear, actually, in your case. So, yeah, I got bombed with sickness right before the start of summer, right at the beginning of spring, and yay, that's all I needed to add to my wound that's mending. Is coughing with an 8-inch gut wound is that's an experience, man, let me tell you. Which I'm healing up pretty good, by the way, but every once in a while I'll reach for something and kind of torque myself just a little bit too much, and all of a sudden it's like, I can feel the stitches pulling, and I'm like, let's not do that anymore. That hurts. So, yay. Can't drink any coffee, which has got me in kind of a bad mood because I love coffee, especially on the weekends when I can just drink coffee all damn day, and it doesn't matter if I have to use the restroom or what, or if I stay up all night. So instead I'm stuck drinking tea, which isn't nearly as much fun. It's probably better for me, but, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's kind of the week I've been having since I talked to you guys last on Tuesday. How are you guys doing out there? So, Patty says he can't stay long, but he wanted to hit that like button and wish me a wonderful stream. Oh, it's Miss Parler's birthday bash. Hobbit themed. Oh, dang. Did you put hair on your feet, Patty? Green Dragon, it is so good to see you, man. It's been a long time. He'll be singing songs, eating potatoes, and trying to smash some cake. Okay. Really cool. Singing songs. I didn't know you were a singer, Patty. No, I'm not inviting you to sing on my show ever. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to do that. that kind of show. I tried singing on this show once, and yeah, that didn't work. Wouldn't I like to see your feet? No, I wouldn't. No. This gentleman might want to.
No.
Okay, Grim doesn't want to either.
No.
Sorry. I'm particular about the feet I see, and Grim doesn't like them at all. So.
Or singing.
Is it just because they look weird, or is it the smell, or the association, or what?
All of the above. The weird,
Okay.
thick nails, the calloused skin, the fact that they're hands but not.
So
Yeah.
it's almost a body horror element for you.
Yeah.
That's really creepy. I have one of those friends who has that problem with holes being in stuff.
Mm.
I'm just kind of like, how do you survive? Anytime you have to look at a deep pore examination or something, it must drive you insane.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I have believe that.
You got that trench foot. Ew, no, Patty, no.
It's probably too much even for you.
I ain't even interested in that. So, like we said Tuesday, it's feast or famine with us over here some weeks, and we're kind of feasting a little bit right now. We have lots of stuff to talk about, and I'm going to try to keep it to the hour. But one of the first things I found out today as I woke up was the executive at Amazon, Jennifer Salke, supposedly got fired.
What was she
No, I'm not.
for?
She, okay, so according to The Wrap, she has exited a changing Amazon Studios that she helped grow.
Right.
But apparently it was the whole James Bond thing that kind of did her in. But this is the same woman who was in charge of all of the casting decisions and everything else behind things like The Rings of Power, The Wheel of Time, Good Omens, and all that sort of stuff. And in some cases, it was just a a thing where it, if it sounded good, she just bought into it.
I was going to say, isn't the James Bond thing a good feather in their cap, hypothetically?
I mean, I guess so, but, with her, I guess it wasn't.
Oh.
Now, studio head Mike Hopkins announced that in a memo to staff that she will not be replaced. Instead, head of film Courtney Valenti and head of TV Vernon Sanders will now report directly to Mike Hopkins. So, yeah, apparently she's exiting Amazon MGM Studios and moving to a production deal.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Change can only be good.
I mean, I think so. It's like, you look at, she's had plenty of time to get her feet wet and learn what the deal was and how to do it, and failed. I mean, not everything she's done has failed. I mean, she had some successes. I mean, she had Reacher, which apparently is a really good show that I've never ever watched. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I've never watched. The Boys, which, yeah, that started pretty good, and I'm, it's just trash TV at this point. I watch The Boys just see how ridiculous it's going to be, see how much they can shock me, because I've already read the comic books, so I've already seen how bad Garth Ennis can treat the superhero franchise. So I just want to see if the Amazon show can live up to it. And so far, it hasn't.
I wish they'd done the Wanted comic book justice instead of what they did do.
Yeah, the Wanted comic was good. I don't know what the deal is with the movie.
No.
They've screwed that up. She had the Fallout show, which, I mean, okay, that has divided the fan base quite a bit, but I mean, yeah, I get where the purists are angry about it and pissed, and I see what they're saying too. And yes, there are story elements that don't make sense in the show, but I think a lot of my love for it is the performances really kind of keep it rolling for me. I mean, Walt Goggins is just, every time he's on the screen he just eats the screen. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good. I like that one. Hard pressed to think of much else I'd liked, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't
not a lot that I've really hated either.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see. On the movies, she did The Idea of You, starring Anne Hathaway, which I didn't watch. Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I didn't watch. And then there's the Roadhouse remake, which I watched, and
I watched that. That was good enough.
It was okay. Seeing Connor all roided out, looking like roided out Gimli. I mean, that was.
He's a tosser anyway, so it was it's good to see him get the shit kicked out of him. So,
well, I mean, it's just like, I don't know what to think about Conor McGregor. I mean, yes, at one time he was a great MMA fighter, a good striker, and everything else, but his ego just ran away with him, and he just destroyed himself. And then recently, he what?
Yeah, and the whole SA grape thing as well, obviously.
Yeah. There was that. There was that. I mean, there was that, and beating up a pensioner because he wouldn't drink his drink, and then buying the pub and denying that guy a seat at the pub. You hear about that?
I didn't hear about that one, but
okay, yeah. Okay, so
old doesn't entitle you to act a dick.
Well, I mean, so here's the deal. So Connor had his own beverage, his own alcoholic beverage. He went into a bar, and he offered some old pensioner a drink of his drink. Well, the pensioner refused. Connor got irate about it, slapped him around a bit, and threatened him and stuff, and left the bar. Apparently, later on, he bought the bar. And then he barred the guy from ever coming back into it.
Let Ironcaster in. He's shaming you.
Oh, is he shaming me? I didn't even know Ironcaster was in the back. I wasn't even watching. Hi, Caster.
For shame.
For shame. Shame, shame, shame. Why are you so late? Why are you so late?
I was out. I had to... I put a little cap for me.
And we can't hear you. You have intermittent audio. Sorry. I don't mean to be a dick. I'm just pointing it out to you.
I don't mean to be a dick. You just are.
Yeah, I just do it naturally. By the way, that Roadhouse movie is going to get a sequel.
Oh. I'll probably watch it when I have nothing better to do.
I mean, that's why I watched the first one. It wasn't because I was a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan.
Had it on in the background.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but then she had some bombs. She had the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, which $700 million to make, and well, we know how that turned out.
Yeah.
The Citadel.
She wants to be big. She wants to be in the Hollywood circuit, and she has the infinite paycheck of Jeff Bezos to be able to throw money at whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally caught up with her.
I think so. And then there was Red One, the Christmas movie with The Rock.
As they say, she's a star fucker.
Yeah, she really is. She is. It said that news of Salki's departure comes a month after Amazon MGM Studios gained creative control over the iconic James Bond franchise from longtime stewards Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. And it says earlier this week, Amy Pascal and David Heyman were confirmed to come aboard to produce the studio's upcoming Bond film. You know, all I can really say is, considering what Barbara Broccoli did to James Bond, I'm not necessarily sure Amazon could do a whole lot worse, especially now that Salky is out.
You've done it now.
What?
Now
What'd
it's
I do?
going to be worse.
The name
Think
is
so?
Zahn. Amazon.
But anyway,
it's a frustrating thing because, well, you know, the thing is ultimately, James Bond is this character that was so tied to sort of that Cold War era that unfortunately is being tried to push more and more into the modern day. And there are certain big bad guys that big global powers that they will never dare touch for bad guy potential. I mean, heck, we had Die Another Day, in which the big bad guy was going to be North Korea. When if you're talking about big global powers, then China's right there, but we can't touch that one.
mm-mm.
Well, I mean,
We can't touch our global financial assistance partners.
Well, that's where half of Amazon shit gets made.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we could, but yeah.
Just
America's going to make a pretty good villain for James Bond, I think.
For everybody else,
Yeah.
probably.
I can see Bond sort of infiltrating via Canada and attacking Lockheed Martin or something.
Oh, I mean, can you imagine Bond getting held up at the border trying to get in?
He'd get shot in Detroit.
Yeah, he probably would.
Fucking
Welcome
yeah,
to
great.
Detroit.
No, not Detroit.
No, not Detroit. Yes. Oh, and here we go. We have $2 Australian from Mercurius. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad to see you again, man. And let me see. What can we give you? I don't want to do Detroit because that one's too long. Nuts or Nothing is really kind of too long too, but it's so much fun though.
Hit a random one.
We'll see. Random.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
See, yeah, that's what happens when you hit a random one. That's why I have specific ones out there. You know, like when we're talking about Amazon and not being able to do their stuff.
China, that's where the fun is at. China, that's where the fun is.
So, yeah. It's kind of hard to do random ones because then they don't fit right.
I don't
end
know,
up with like asteroids.
If you want to play up that idea of America's the bad guy, you really should kind of channel like a villain who kind of has that ego and that arrogance like Conor McGregor. Because at the end of the day, he is out there to be an asshole, but he's out there to make you love him being an asshole. This is sort of the WWE mentality of like, I'm gonna go out and play this heel and be this larger than life character that you just want to hate. But you can't help but watch to see what is he going to do next.
That's what I don't get about him. Is Connor has a ton of money. He has a ton of money from all his endorsements and from his MMA stuff. He's got more than enough to live on for the rest of his life if he, doesn't spend it on, gold-plated Mercedes Benzes and all that stuff.
Well, it's not about the money.
But no, it in his case, I don't think it is about the money. I think it's just about the spectacle at this point.
He's kind of like what you said earlier. He's got FU money just to like go and buy a bar just to say FU to like one dude.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but Conor McGregor has become kind of a supervillain.
Okay, so how about this, right? We remake Moonraker and make the Hugo Drax more of a stand-in for Elon Musk, and we have Conor McGregor as the henchman, or the new version of Jaws.
I mean, you think about it, that's actually not a crazy idea. We've already got him catching rockets.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Magnificent Devil, love you, man. China is a huge part of the international box office. They won't risk of anything. No, of course not. When you got that many, when you get that many people being compulsorily forced into the cinema to watch stuff and buy tickets. I mean, I don't know how it works over there. I mean, you know, people will try to convince you, no, you have freedom to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, but do you really? Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a politician, and we don't do a lot of politics on this show. I just wonder how some of the stuff adds up sometimes.
I just play well on TV.
Not even.
China is what it always has been, you know, a 10,000-year-old bureaucracy that runs on bribery. It's just occasionally they change the curtains. And yeah, it's the same as it ever was, really. It's not really even political.
I think you're right. By the way, of course, you know, all the hubbub this week was about everybody Ghibli-izing all of the memes and stuff like that. So I went ahead and Ghibli'd myself for this one. So there we go.
I thought you were going into a whole thing about how like you Ghiblified like a lot of your main cast.
No, I figured you guys would do that on your own, but you disappointed me.
No, I did. I just didn't. I thought you'd want me on camera. So.
Oh, I do like you on camera. But yeah, if you got your Ghibli character, we can look at it too.
Me.
And Daniel from Driving and Dragons, better late than never. Yeah, hey, it's good to see you, buddy. I appreciate you. All right, let's see what else have we got in the tag. Speaking of AI and Ghibli and everything like that, I don't want to attack another YouTuber so much. I'm just going to say that a YouTuber I really used to appreciate and enjoy has gone off the deep end with AI stuff and made the somewhat controversial statement about Ghibli art style being plain, uninspired.
Well, let's not pussyfoot around it. Let's go ahead and pull the thing up. Just we might as well. If you know, we're gonna speak with our chest here. It's like, come on, we're talking about Shadiversity.
Yeah, we are. I don't want to pick a fight with Shad though.
Oh, he lives for the attention. He lives for the controversy. That's why he's basically making himself the sword and AI guy.
I mean, I don't get it. There was a time I really used to enjoy tuning into his stuff. But yeah, apparently his whole tweet was the Ghibli art style is plain, uninspired, and the actual reasons people love it is because of the quality of stories the style has been attached to and the fluidity and details of the animations it appears in, not the style itself. I get that it has an innocent charm to it, hence the fun in depicting controversial images in it, but that does not make the style itself anything special when separated from those stories it's been used in and the quality of the animation. Now, I disagree with that on one point, and that is the fact that you recognize it. I mean, it is a style. You recognize it, and when when people saw the memes that were done up in Ghibli style, they recognized it as being Ghibli style memes or Ghibli style artwork. And Grim, that's not Ghibli, is it?
Well, that's what AI thinks Ghibli is when it's fed an image of me.
I think I did better, but it took me a few times.
The thing is, right? A lot of the Studio Ghibli, the overall narratives, the overall stories they go for is a lot of nature versus technology, man versus nature sort of stories. And to that, nature doesn't necessarily have to be overly complex, right? It's, just the simple things of just simple trees, billowing in the wind. It's the simple things of like just a deer out in the woods. There's an inherent beauty in these things that doesn't have to be overly done. And to that extent as well, sometimes simplicity is just better. like it's more memorable because there's less details to focus on.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any Ghibli shows that I have not enjoyed. Well, actually, let me take that back. I did watch I watched Princess Mononoke in the theater, and I really couldn't tell you anything about it because basically I was so distracted because I hate saying this. I love Billy Bob Thornton. But I was so distracted by his performance for his character that I felt like it was really misplaced to the point where that's the only thing I remember about the story. Other than that, I can't tell you anything about Princess Mononoke, and I saw it in the theater. I think I literally just like hallucinated the entire thing because I was bored off my ass.
What about the weird deer man face? You don't remember him? The like spirit of the woods?
No. I do remember the little
Kodamas?
the little kodamas were with their little heads and stuff like that because they focused on them so much. But I mean, that's really about it. Now I love Totoro. Totoro is fun. That's a good show. I do, of course, I own a copy of Grave of the Fireflies. So, and some people are like, this is not a Ghibli movie. Yeah, it is. My mind blocked that out, I guess, because I don't remember that.
Mononoke tends to be one of the upper ones for me. Whereas ones like Totoro doesn't really hold up as well for me because it at the end of the day, it is a movie geared more towards a younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mononoke. I like the whole, I like the elements they were kind of playing with like what I was saying earlier about, man versus nature versus civilization. That's kind of being at play. He's kind of caught between these two women that are at war. This woman of the wolves and this woman of civilization.
Mm. And hello, Piku Nali. Good to see you. I don't remember seeing you before. You said, Ghibli is certainly not a style for everyone. For former classmate used to rant and rave about how horrible the crying scenes in Ghibli movies look while the dramatic floaty tears and hair are. Yeah, Grave of the Fireflies. It was beautiful. It haunts me. You never want to see it again. I own a copy of it. I've watched it many, many times. It is sad every single time. But it's absolutely beautiful, and it's one of the films I like to show to people, not just to make them upset, but also to show it's like, this is how animation can be used to tell a story effectively. It's my favorite example of it, because not only is it's not a new movie, it's an older film, and it's so effective at how it tells its story, how every single little detail in it is focused on and draws your attention. I mean, that is a masterpiece movie. Absolutely 100% masterpiece.
I can't believe everyone's just sleeping on Pompoko, because that's a great film.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
You have to see it. A bunch of raccoon dogs with enormous testicles bouncing around. It's great.
Okay, now I must see that.
Okay, as to Shad, I think he's just desperately striving for relevance. He's always whining about how his channel's getting less views and all the rest of it. So people love Ghibli. It's an easy troll. I think I would rather talk about Shadman than Shadiversity.
Well, I mean,
someone else with a distinctive style.
I always liked Shadiversity, but I always felt like he talked way too fast. Which, no, I'm serious. It's like, no, I like, he has good information. He really does. I appreciate that. As a historian, I really do. I just think his delivery is way too rapid and a little bit too stream of consciousness.
See, yes, but I think if we're going to talk about people who are like that to a T, you're better describing Matt Colville for that. Oh, I cannot
Yeah.
stand his videos.
No, I
Sorry,
hate Mike Colville.
all the way.
Sorry, it's slightly just different thought there, but still.
Yeah. Well, and I know I'm bad about rambling too, so
Yeah.
But-
they talk too slow, apparently.
Usually that's something they say about us Southerners. We talk too slow.
If you think
Oh.
I talk slow, you should listen to someone from Somerset.
Oh
They're
boy.
right slow in Somerset.
Actually, I always wanted to go visit Yorkshire after I heard some girl with a Yorkshire accent. I was like, oh,
They're gruff and short and to the point.
okay. Well, I mean, Malcolm
Best
McDowell's a
compliment.
Yorkshireman.
Best compliment I ever got from a Yorkshireman was my friend Steve's dad. He said, "You know, Grim, I don't entirely hate you."
Well, there you go. That sounds like a compliment, sort of.
It's a hell of a compliment.
Coming from a Yorkshireman. Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, I'm not attacking Shad Brooks. Okay, I'm not. I do like the guy's stuff. I just kind of can't understand why he's decided to take these stances and why he's decided to be so controversial. I guess he really is trying to stir the pot, trying to get views and stuff. He's just trying to play the game, perhaps. And I don't know. By the way, special shout out tonight to Snowdub, who has passed 10K subscribers. Good job, Snow. And tonight he's going to have a special tuck and roll show to celebrate that. So you ought to check that out a little bit later this evening. Perhaps Lord Baphomet will be there. Perhaps. Now, how he got over 10K views, or 10K subs, I'm not sure, but in other news, let's see. No,
Rents due.
perhaps. Yeah. We did get this really interesting piece of we're not a political thing, and I don't like to get political, and I don't really know if this counts as being political so much as it just counts as being stupid or being against common sense. No one can accuse T-shirt of being a rapid talker. Okay, I mean that's fair. Have you heard Driving and Dragons talking though? He makes me sound like a speed champion.
It's got to concentrate on driving.
So this just came down from the Telegraph. Apparently Lego could be anti-LGBT because the museum's Seeing Things Query Tour claims that people think the toy bricks are gendered and reinforces the idea that heterosexuality is the norm because the bricks have male or female parts and are made to mate with each other, says Science Museum in London.
Okay, but who at the Science Museum in London? Like the janitor?
I don't know.
See, that's the interesting thing, because Lego was completely unisex up until the 80s, I think. And then they began to divide between girl and boy toys the same way everything else was. And while that may not have been great for a whole bunch of reasons, it did lead to a hell of a lot more sales, which ultimately is all companies really care about. And it's only relatively recently they've begun bringing back sort of girls-only kits.
Well, I mean, it's like, just about every single component of every single piece of thing that we put together has a male and a female bit, and they're forced to be put together.
Do they just object to the language, like master and slave hard drives? Is that what it is?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is just this is people with far too much time on their hands and far too little actual problems to solve that have to see new problems everywhere that need to be taken care of.
I guess so. I mean, I guess it's just outrage farming for no reason.
And in this case, it like the parts aren't called male female or anything. It's just they looked at them and said, "Well, this has a little bit that plugs into the bottom of this other bit that has like a little, you have a part sticking out, and a part sticking in, and these go together, and it's just that fucking retarded."
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will, but I mean, if you have two female parts which have holes and you try to put them together, it won't work. I mean,
like,
yeah.
Look, this is so dumb. And by the way, as far as Lego's concerned, like, yeah, let's maybe go ahead and make a couple of those like male, double-sided male pieces to be able to do some other stuff. By the way, as an aside, like that would be kind of useful for doing some additional building.
Yeah. And as far as bricks go, even a female one would be useful for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, look at all the other stuff that involves male and female parts. I mean, like all the IKEA furniture and stuff that has pegs and holes. That's male and female oriented. All the plugins to your computer have male and female connections. Your wall sockets have female and male connections. Your batteries, everything out there tends to have that. I mean, there's virtually nothing out there that is assembled that doesn't have that kind of gendered language type stuff. So it's kind of like, what are they recommending as a replacement for all this? That's my question.
So I've called up it's a self-guided tour, this thing, right? And they seem to have picked just like the one thing to make a huge fuss about. But most of it is things like, so one of the Spitfire pilots who fought in the Battle of Britain was so traumatized at the end of the war, it had a massive effect on them, and they became one of the first people to become trans fully.
Right.
In the 1950s. That's worth noting. There's someone who's a hero who turned out to be trans. Yeah. Or the obvious thing is Alan Turing and his work on computing and how his homosexuality ended up being used against him. Yeah, it's mostly stuff like that, just like additional information about certain devices and things that are found around the museum. Is what it looks like, and it's a self-guided tour. It's like it's optional, so I guess they're looking for ways to see things like this. But
I mean, I don't get it, but I think just somebody just has too much time on their hands and is trying to be too agenda driven for their own good, to the point where
But then the Tory Graph, which was the newspaper, that article in it, they're doing the same thing. It's this mutual trolling thing that people do that gets all sides clicks and fame and everything. It's also cynical.
I guess. I don't know. I just miss the days when people could laugh and have a good time and, not worry about all this stuff so much. But, I thought, back about the time I was out of high school for a couple of years, like that, I noticed that the queer community started to come out a little bit more and started to become more and more acceptable. And I thought that was great. I thought that was a nice step forward. I'm actually more or less happy with the way the LGBTQ community is more or less accepted now. As far as being more normal. But it's like we don't want to stop there. We want to just push past that for something else. And I'm just kind of like, what else is there?
Well,
Yeah.
it seems to me a couple of issues that are of all the numerous things kind of going on. You've largely got people who see progress as a never-ending treadmill that always has to be pushed further and further, and which also meets with, again, the busybodies who see everything as a problem that needs to be solved. Combined with that, in some ways, it almost seems like a fear to self-govern. And I say this largely as an outsider, that there are elements within the LGBT, the queer community, that can take things too far, that aren't being kept in check, that needs to be brought to heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of the queer representation stuff that we see in the media is actually doing more harm to the LGBTQ movement. And and I'm an LGBT member myself. I've got my spot in there, but
there's no F in their t-shirt.
Oh,
Fat.
I see what you did there. Yeah. Thanks, man. I'm losing weight. Trying to anyway. But no, I mean, it's like, like that Amelia Perez show that came out, and apparently it won the Academy and all this crap. And I'm just kind of like, the actual people who it was supposed to, glorify or whatever, didn't really care for it. I thought it was not a good show myself. I mean, look at how ridiculous it was. This horrible cartel drug lord, and if you ever want to see how bad the cartel really is, I mean, just go start looking up stories of all their atrocities and things, and where all the bodies are buried and the kind of things that they do to people that they want to terrorize. And then tell me how suddenly changing your gender and trying to turn over a new leaf just absolves you of all of the horrible things that you did. I mean, it's like, half the story is she's digging up she's helping find all the corpses that she herself created. And I'm just kind of like,
it's
I
Hollywood
don't
narcissism.
get it.
It's Hollywood narcissism at play that feels this urge to be the first at something.
I guess.
Never mind the fact that so much of this stuff has already been done before. And if you were to go back to, say, the 1930s to before the Hays Code kind of stuck in, that you find that there's a lot of films that kind of tackle this very stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was always happy. I always thought that it was really nice. Here's the thing, okay? When we had comics or we had films or we had television shows that would occasionally tackle this kind of stuff, before it became woke, it was refreshing and it was nice. I mean, Star Trek used to do it all the time. It was great at bringing out modern problems and using them allegorically to highlight, what kind of problem it was. And I mean, probably the most famous one is I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's the one where you had the guy with the black on one side of his face and white on the other, and the other guy had white on one side of his face and black on the other.
Yeah.
Stuff like that was brilliant.
Former female lover in DS9.
Yeah, that was a good one. Or the Star Trek Next Generation episode with the race that is gender neutral, and that's not by choice necessarily; it's by conformity.
Or the one that has a third gender to reproduce.
Yeah. Those were groundbreaking. That was groundbreaking television. That was awesome stuff, and it was spectacular, and it was cool, and it really made you think about it, and it made you kind of happy to see this sort of thing because it was so out of the norm. But now it's so oversaturated.
Yeah, and people don't understand how big of a deal it was to have Chekhov, a Russian, on the bridge of the Enterprise in the original series, because deep in the Cold War.
Yeah, and it was a multicultural bridge. I mean, you had a black woman, you had a Japanese man, an Asian man, You had a Scottish engineer. Then you had a Vulcan, which I don't know. He's an alien. So
That's what Roddenberry was good at. I think. I think he kind of lost his powers in later years, which is why the start of TNG was so rocky. But he inhabited the universe that he was creating, and he thought about nobody's going to make a fuss about any of this.
There we go. Yeah, let that be your last
things
battle.
are.
Yeah. And I remember, after Star Trek the Motion Picture ended up being a money sink, they kind of took a lot of his creative powers away from him when they made Star Trek 2. And wow, we ended up with the best Star Trek movie ever made. Hands down, bar none.
I love the look of the first one.
Yeah.
It has a sort of grand, almost Kubrick sort of style to it. You really get a sense of space and volume, and everything just feels really real in it, weirdly. Yeah, real and big. And you don't get that so much in the other ones, but there are better stories.
Yeah, there are. That could have been an episode. That did not need to be a movie. But anyway, it is what it was. And, eventually it got to, it formed the basis of the Star Trek curse, which was every odd-numbered Star Trek was crap and every even-numbered Star Trek was good. But anyway, I digress. It's just, but that's the thing, man, is like, stuff like that was unique. It was original. It was groundbreaking. It did a better job of highlighting these things than the oversaturation of these topics being hammered down on our collective consciousness every time we turn on a new series. Am I wrong? Or
no? I was asked recently on Roll for Insight my sort of diversity and inclusion stance. I just said I don't have one. Whatever's best to the story at the time, whether it's a game that I'm writing or a game that I'm running or a character that I'm creating or whatever, story should probably lead, and that's what's important. And I feel that making everything tick all these sort of conformity boxes it makes everything feel the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same storylines. It's focusing everything in on people who, through no fault of their own, are tiny minorities of any potential audience. So making the story constantly about that means you're never gonna tackle those sort of universal themes that appeal to everyone. We pointed out all those standout episodes, but if every episode was the same thing, those episodes wouldn't be standouts. They wouldn't be as meaningful or impactful. So
yes.
In addition to that, it's not only do we have to check these boxes, we also have to put these people into the best possible light, where there can be no faults to them for the character. It's not enough to have the inclusion, it's also to make them the best that they possibly could be, the bestest ever, as Doomcock would famously say.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, it comes at the sacrifice of the larger story. I mean, so many of those episodes do work in a lot of ways where they were able to work those elements in interestingly, but it's not done in a way that, we look at a lot of these modern fantasy shows where we have to check every box in order to show this multicultural diversity, melting pot, not so melting pot of everyone is included. And well, now you don't have any sort of conflict. That's where the interesting parts come from. You take, for example, Coyote and Crow, that, the Indian Wakanda of an RPG. And it's like it's all this great fantastical stuff, but where's your conflict? You've not done anything to make this interesting beyond just that initial premise of it's the Native American paradise where the white people didn't show up. And
Yeah.
we were left to roam and claim the buffalo for our own. And the many tribes never fought and never killed each other in mass graves.
Yeah.
Ironcaster is a Native American, by the way, guys. This is not a white man making fun of Native Americans. He's a card-carrying Native American. So I have him on here for representation. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's a DEI hire.
He's a DEI hire. No.
That was a nice
Checks
Irish
in the mail, right?
Yep. I got and which reservation are you on? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
On the dairy reservation.
No, he really is. He really is. And we joke about it, but
One of these days I'm gonna go visit the tribal lands, but that's not today.
Yeah. Did they have horses in that RPG? I mean, I wondered about that, but I wouldn't pick it up to find out, to be quite honest.
Maybe they ride buffalo.
Native American from the potato reservation with an accent. No, I'm serious, Daniel. He really, I mean, he'd show you his card, but it's got his credentials on it. So.
Yeah, it's my card has me in like my Jedi robes. I'm not kidding.
It staggers drunkenly and runs with potatoes.
Hey, I'm 21% indigenous myself, so I don't qualify for anything though, unfortunately, because they didn't put us on reservations. They just interbred with us and turned us into Mexicans. So
I got another 25 years before I get any kind of payout.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Oh. He's saying his Native American accent about the buffalo center. Okay, good. Okay, yes. Okay, that's fair cop. Fair cop.
Look, those buffaloes are getting dipped in some sauce. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I've eaten buffalo hot dogs before. They are tasty. So.
Kogels.
If only we hadn't eaten all those buffalo wings, they could have flown away from the hunters.
Yes, perhaps. Let's see. What other news did we get? We got a lot of news this week. Let's see. So apparently Mark Waid will be rewriting the timelines for classic heroes with the new history of the DC universe.
Oh, Wade! King Baby himself. Yeah, by the way, so for anyone who doesn't know, Mark Waid's nickname in the offices of Marvel was King Baby because he would throw a fucking tantrum if he didn't get his way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to get his uncompromising vision of DC history?
Well, according to him, the exact quote is, "This is my dream project," says Wade, per DC. "It's a chance to realign all of DC's sprawling continuity into one master timeline and to be joined by some of comics' greatest artists to make it shine with new information for even longtime fans, plus Easter eggs galore. The series will be an essential read for DC fans." And he's got some some great talent with him. I mean, Jerry Ordway is going to be working on it, Todd Knock, and all these other guys. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, of all the people to get to write it, I mean, okay, Kingdom Come was awesome. It really was. It's one of my favorite DC comics ever written. But this guy, I don't know. Considering how many times DC has been rebooted and redone and remade, I mean, it's just like, I don't know how he's going to actually do this.
What was the last one? New 52, and then they...
No, that was a while ago.
On that as well, didn't they? Because they folded that continuity back in and trimmed it, and
there's been at least, Grim, that it's like 3 reboots ago.
Yeah.
I can't keep
New
up.
50.
I give even less of a shit about DC than I do Marvel. So.
Same. Sadly, it shouldn't be that way because DC was basically the template for which all the superheroes basically sprang from. Superman, Batman, Aquaman, all those guys all predate the Marvel characters.
Also,
And yet,
I think I'm blocked by Mark Wade.
are you? What'd you say?
I followed the wrong people apparently.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no, I'm not blocked anymore.
oh, okay. I've never actually checked out his stuff. I can't say I care that much about him or what he has to say, but I mean, okay. I don't really think I'd make that many waves with too many people out there. So, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's why my channel doesn't grow very fast. In fact, I lost 2 subscribers. So,
You need to pick on Studio Ghibli or something
Oh.
equally.
I need to say something controversial, huh? Like Assassin's Creed Shadows was a wonderful, great game, and all you haters out there are just being racists.
Wait, that's not Mark Wade. No, I'm still blocked.
Are you still blocked by Mark Wade?
Mm-hmm.
What's his handle so I can see? I'm curious if I am. Here we are doing funny things behind the scenes, guys. But yeah, there you go. I mean, Mark Wade is going to be writing the definitive history of the DC universe.
Oh wait,
And-
shocking! He fucked off the blue sky, by the way.
Oh, well, yeah, of course he did. Everybody wants to get on the freedom platform, right? I've never gone to Blue Sky. I don't want to.
It's all right. It's just mirror universe Twitter, really.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Either that or, I mean, if I was being really skeptical, I would say, oh, it's the trash taking itself out. But
It's hard to get any traction there, unfortunately.
yeah, well, I mean, it's like the alternative channels to YouTube. It's hard to get traction on those, I think.
Yeah.
But some suds still stick to the bowl, no matter how hard you try to wash them. What you got, Caster?
Oh no, I thought I had it, but not anymore. Nope,
Not
that's
anymore.
not it.
Okay. Oh, it's not important.
Excuse me.
A few RPGs and historians have gone over to Becky. Oh, well. Not this guy. I stay with the partner I came to the dance with, damn it, because that's the way I am. Till she leaves me for some other guy, and then I'm free to go and pick up with
We
somebody else.
need to find someone for you to pick on for clout. There's not much that's nearly universally loved that's left in the same way that Ghibli is for you to attack.
That's true. You think about it, everything's been destroyed.
Keanu Reeves.
No!
Go after Keanu
No.
Reeves.
Yes.
No!
Shit on him.
No! I will not go after Keanu Reeves.
Search your feelings. You know you want to.
No!
All you have to do is a single tweet saying, you know what, I think Keanu Reeves is overrated. That's all you need to do.
True. Actually, like I could always put up a post like I did the other day, or like I did many years ago when I first found out what piling on feels like, and just say that one of my players keeps, failing to emote whenever we play a game. So when he plays his character and he just, keeps saying my character does this, my character does that, instead of saying I do this and I do that. So he's got no, he's not connected to the game at all.
Why do you hate me? Why are you making me look at this?
Well, because I just wanted to point out that even though we kind of took a shot at DC, Marvel not doing much better, because this is an abomination that should not happen. This should not have happened. They have pretty much just dug up a sacred cow and set it on fire. This would be just like, what's next? They're gonna revive Uncle Ben.
It's only a matter of time.
Well,
we know they're going to, because they need to do something controversial to get headlines.
Yeah.
And I say this ultimately as a Gwen fan. Like Gwen and Peter was my favorite of the relationships.
Mhm.
She needs to stay dead because it has so much more impact. It has so much more meaning to his character. She is she's one of those ultimate failures that drives him to have to be better.
Yes, I agree.
If they revive her, they take that away.
Well, I mean, it was the same thing with the Punisher too. It's like the Punisher's driving force was, the death of his family, and then they destroyed all that by changing his skull up and changing up his weapons, and then bringing his wife back from the dead. And I'm just kind of like, you really wanted to destroy this character, didn't you?
Yeah.
And apparently,
Cool.
and apparently they're on the same track with Spider-Man now.
So I think Uncle Ben is free to come back because he's not on the boxes of rice anymore. So, yeah, he's got nothing else going
Uncle
on.
Ben. Not that Uncle Ben.
And I think this is just Gwenpool is popular. Spider-Gwen is popular. Oh, well, let's bring back the original.
I don't know. Chances are, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is not going to be a permanent addition to the storyline like it was in the Punisher's case, which was stupid. But
maybe it's the scroll.
Yeah, I mean, it's a temporary thing. It's just for a short story or something. But then again, we did get that One Perfect Day story that just made everybody so happy and such a great big Spider fan, right?
Oh, you mean One More Day?
One More Day, yes, that's the one.
The single storyline that was the biggest thing to damage Spider-Man sales in history. Like worse than the Clone Saga, worse than about 1,000 other things. Worse than the time they tried to make him Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
And all this is frustrating in the fact, in addition to how the Marvel offices are dead set against putting Peter and Mary Jane together, which is the one thing that the fans want. They want that more than anything in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the frustrating thing is, even if they do bring her back, they're not going to be together. They're not going to be together forever. They're going to go ahead and have Gwen go off and have her go be happy somewhere else, or they'll touch back into the story about how she was off fucking Norman Osborn.
Ew.
Because that was such a needed addition. Thank you, by the way, J. Michael Straczynski, for that one.
I like J. Michael Straczynski, but damn. All right, well, one positive thing I think we can probably walk away from this week since our hour is up. We got this, and in my attempt to say something positive, so this is the new Ironheart armor. I like it. I mean, it reminds me of a cool looking, tokusatsu type armor type thing. I mean, it's like I halfway expect her to be, over gesturing and fighting big monsters in rubber costumes and all this kind of stuff. It could be cool.
Is there a full length image anywhere?
That's the only thing I've ever seen of it, but it looks cool. It's too bad that all the other promotional pictures I've seen of it look trash. But at this point, they can't not release it. They have to release it. They don't have a choice.
First off, the color schemes, the armor, it looks awful. Like everything with the chest area alone is where my eyes are immediately going. Like, what the fuck did they do with that? No, you make it something uniform. I get you want to go with this whole scrap box thing, but fucking Tony Stark can make it work. And plus, no, you want to have something kind of simplistic enough that kind of draws eyes in. The helmet, what's up with that? What's up with the color scheming? They don't have colors flowing in a way that makes sense. I don't like it. I don't like the look of the shoulders. Plus, maybe it's the fact that I've kind of been so into the tokusatsu stuff lately that I've got more appreciation for what Japan is doing. Here, let me show you like a dumb tokusatsu suit, and we can compare.
Okay, let's do that.
This one, okay. So just to give you a little context, this is based on pudding.
On what?
They made a suit based on pudding, like pudding cups. T-shirt.
Gotta remove. Yep. Oh, that's really cool. And uniform. Those. Wait a minute. That's not pudding cups. That's flan.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it's flan. He has a couple. He has a couple of different designs to him.
That's kind of cool, actually. But you see my point about how the other suit looks very tokusatsu. But there are things about it I don't get. Like, let me show you. Like, okay, you see there's a segment in the front there with a really bad looking weld. See how bad that weld looks up in the front? And I'm just kind of like, how is it she got all these other pieces together, uniform, and then she has this big ass ugly spot weld on the front with, I mean, and look at the way it's beaded up.
Also, didn't she get a vibranium suit for Wakanda?
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know. I didn't watch Black Panther 2. I know she was in it, but
So how did she do this then? Like, is this supposed to be the upgrade? Did she make vibranium better? No.
Oh, well, knowing her, probably.
Here, go back to my image. Here's more suits for you.
Okay.
Just compare the same series. They're all based on like snack foods.
Oh wow! I can almost tell which ones they are.
We got gummy candies. We got chocolate, flan, and like supposed to be like a bitter and a sweet.
Simpsons were right again.
Those are kind of cool. Chocobot, yeah. Maybe they'll make a suit made out of Maltesers or something.
You got a cake suit.
Oh my god, no.
Should I just show you all the
cake suit?
Well, I do know that they had a penis monster at one point that actually spurted on people. And I mean, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't actually seen the footage.
Come on, you've played Persona, you know about these things.
I do actually have a couple of Persona games.
Yeah. with the Ironheart armor, right? I know why they're doing it, but you can't tell that it's a woman in the suit, which is bad visual storytelling. You know, you compare that to Pepper Potts' armor. What is it, Rescue?
Yeah,
that has a somewhat feminine silhouette. It's the same reason you have boob plate and things. It's so you can identify the important character in the crowd. And if you do away with the feminine silhouette entirely, on the one hand, it doesn't necessarily make sense, and on the other, it's just bad visual storytelling. I know why they've done it, but
yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, the fact is that you can see the armor kind of being all scratched up and stuff like that, and it's kind of like intentionally done. Oh, don't worry, they'll make it pink or red and gold before it's over with. I have a feeling this is like the earliest in the show.
You're wrong. They're gonna go for like the bisexual lighting colors.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Probably so. I don't know. Give it a glass boob window. Oh man. You know what? By the way, that's my suggestion. If DC ever does a Power Girl movie, get Sydney Sweeney. Because Sydney Sweeney with boob window. Come on, everybody wants to see that.
You can't split your audience with a transparent boob window without having a butt window as well. Otherwise, you're going to lose half your audience.
I'm okay. I'm good for that too. Let's do that. Let's equal windows for everybody.
So let's then team her up with Zatanna and we get the fishnets.
Hey, I'm all for that too. Okay. I mean, let's make movies that make us happy again.
Compare that to Bubblegum Crash armor. How much cooler would that stuff be?
Bubblegum Crash armor was pretty cool though. I just got that series on Blu-ray just a couple of months ago. So again.
Superior to Bubblegum Crisis, I would say, controversially.
Maybe not in the stories, but definitely in the animation.
Admittedly, I've never seen either one. So
Damn it, Ironcaster, why do you keep disappointing me?
it just it just means I get to experience it for the first time.
Yeah. And Caster likes different things. It's good to have a variety of views.
It is, but I mean, this is down his alley. I mean, like, he hasn't seen Maddox 01. And that's like, for the nerd who likes the robot stuff, that should be right there on your list. And Pat Labor should be on your list, and the Bubblegum Crisis, Bubblegum Crash shows should be on your list, because it's like robots and mech suits and all that cool stuff. I mean, like, that's his wheelhouse, and he's not even in it.
The problem with Pat Labor is all the cool stuff is crammed into like 5 minutes at the end.
Kinda, yeah. You got the Bubblegum Crisis RPG? Yeah, me too. Me too, buddy.
Yeah, that was Interlock, wasn't it?
Tokyo 2040 was the best Bubblegum? No.
Was that the mini-series?
That was the one where they redid Bubblegum Crisis, and all of the boomers had organic designs.
Okay. I was thinking it was the mini-series of one-off stories, like the guy who bites his tongue and...
that was AD Police.
That was AD Police, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, they've
good.
never put that on Blu-ray. Yeah, that one was great. That had 2 episodes in it that were just absolutely great storytelling. But
we could do with Bubblegum Crisis armors in the real world to deal with all the boomers.
No shit.
But will it have more lasting power than Zebra Strike?
Your microphone is picking up your camera mic is picking up instead of your microphone.
Why?
I don't know why.
I don't know why it does this.
Yeah, there you go. For someone who has no idea about all this talk about boomers, we're not talking about the age group of boomers. Boomers in the Bubblegum shows are robots. So, but yeah. Got the RPG too. Ripped it off unashamedly for Cyberpunk games. Yeah, I mean, I got mine. Yeah, I mean, why not? Do it.
Yeah.
All right, out there, everybody in YouTube land. My voice is starting to give out, and I think I need to go suck on some lozenges or something, and maybe some hot tea. Really hot tea sounds good. No. That'll congest me. Anything milk product-y or cheese product-y, I've been avoiding it. I've been sticking pretty much strictly to Japanese soup. So, but anyway, I'm going to try to get over this cold or whatever it is I've got. Hopefully, I'm trying not to let it turn into an upper respiratory infection, because I hate upper respiratory so much. Cold, you can get through. Upper respiratory takes weeks to get over with. And they suck every single minute.
So, Sunday, Fabula Ultima character creation and campaign structure decisions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Will you actually show up?
If it's Fabula Ultima, I will.
Yeah. So, starting around 8 p.m. my time, and our hour will have changed by then, I think.
Okay.
No, it won't have. No, it won't have.
Just shoot me a email and everything when you need to. I have been playing the shit out of Pal World again, and I've been enjoying it because they've added so much new content since I was.
Yeah, I need to dig out the Xbox and hook it back up and play some more of that. I've been playing Aspenfall, which I've quite liked.
Yeah, and now it's got crossplay, Grim. So
cool. Yeah, and I've been playing Aspenfall, which I really like.
Caster, do you have it too?
Oh yeah, I have Pal World.
Shit! Anytime you guys want an invite to my server, let me know. I've already capped my levels, so at this point I'm hunting down everything that I haven't already gotten. So I have like one boss or 2 bosses. Well, okay, I have 2 bosses left that I have to beat. I have to beat the Faybreak boss, which I haven't even been in that area yet, And I have the Moonflower Tower boss that I haven't beaten yet. So, but that's okay. I just got some brand new armor. I maybe get some better weaponry together. I've already got plenty of level 60 pals, so it's just a matter of not dying when you get in there. But anyway, we will see you guys later, probably tomorrow. Hopefully my voice holds out. And if not, there's always Tuesday. So y'all take care and have a great week in Geek.
Bye. On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.